Awesome. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Adobe Live. I hope that you are well because I know that I am. Happy Wednesday. My name is Idara Ekpo. I am really excited to be here with y'all today and to introduce some incredible talent. We are going to be live today with Roy Handy, who is a photographer and a designer, who's going to take us through his entire process with photo compositing. So I know I'm really excited as a fellow photographer myself. I only do the photography part. I don't get into the rest of the design part. So there's a lot to learn. So I hope that you're really excited for today. Before we get started, I have some quick talking points for y'all. So check out the first week of a new Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge with Paul Tranny every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Pacific. So you don't want to miss out that new set of challenges. And then also, before we get started, if you are over there on YouTube land, I'm gonna need you to make your way over here to Behance. Make your way over. That way you can join the conversation during the live. And that's b.net/Adobe Live. And so that way you can really conversate, talk with us. We have a chat box going crazy right now. I'm gonna go ahead and call out some different people. So if y'all wanna drop where you're at, where you're streaming from, I think that'll be really dope to kind of see who we got with us. So let's see, I see Golden Rose. Golden Rose. Who else do we got? We got Francisco tuning in from Northern California.
Francisco.
Come on, who else? Oh, somebody said that hat game is on point. I know, right?
The bucket.
We have Cody Bear. I can see a lot of people are already starting to chat. So go ahead, y'all, introduce yourselves. We're going to have a lot going on. I see somebody's here from Brooklyn. What up, Brooklyn? Welcome in. Awesome. Awesome. So y'all, we have a lot going on. But before we get started, I would love to turn it over to Roy to go ahead and introduce yourself. Roy, tell us about you. Tell us about your art. What we got going on today.
Hello, friends. My name is Roy Handy. Handy like hand with a Y at the end of it. I am from New Orleans. I live in Atlanta. I am a multidisciplinary artist, I guess you could say. I do photography, but I study graphic design. I do illustration. I also make music, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I like long walks on the beach, I guess. Like, that's all I know about me. Today, pretty much like Idara said, I'll be doing some photo compositing with some photography that I have taken and just using a bunch of different tools in Photoshop and just kind of free-flowing, free spirit type of vibe and feel with what I'll be creating. And I'll also be taking feedback from you all while I'm creating because, you know, community and whatnot. We just gonna make this together. And the process for what I do is like very on the fly. Mm-hmm. It's not always calculated. Like today, not calculated at all, friends. Like not at all.
We're just gonna go with the flow.
Exactly. Whatever we feel is right, we're just gonna make it work. So.
That's the best part of it. You know, we're just gonna go with the flow and whatever we see at the end is what we get.
Exactly.
But I see we got a lot of people going on here. We have New Zealand. Ooh. Where else am I seeing? I'm seeing Milan. I'm seeing Turkey. Golly, that's so crazy. Toronto, Canada, ATL. So welcome y'all. Cody Bear, thank you so much for dropping Roy's Behance. Make sure y'all follow him. Head to his Instagram. Make sure you plug yourself, Roy. Everything.
Oh yeah. Let me get it in really quick. So yeah, Instagram is old_Orleans, like New Orleans, just the old version of that. So old_Orleans. The website is oldorleans.co, not .com, because that's going to take you to like some random page. So .co. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's about the gist of it. Check out the Behance. I got some work on there, some older work. I'm gonna update it a little bit more for y'all later on, but you know, check out the Behance page, and you know, yeah, that's good for me.
Awesome. So I think we're in a good spot to kind of get into what we're going to be talking about today. And before we do that, Roy, like what really got you to create art like this? Because it's crazy. It's crazy. Like I'm trying to figure out how to say it. Like how did you get to this point of really combining photography and design? I think it's going to be really intriguing to see how you kind of make this all come to life. But if you can share that before we go ahead and get started.
Self-realization. Time to be vulnerable and transparent. So I think my way of looking at a lot of things within like photography, within art, within design in general is mainly just me expressing myself and giving it to the world and making sure that I'm still being unique and real to myself and not just feeling like I'm making something that deserves 1,000 Instagram likes, because we can do that all day and serve to what people want to see, but it's more so about what do I want to create? Where am I good at it? What do I feel inspired by? Whether it's people, whether it's things, whether it's whatever it may be. It could be this cup of tea, which 9 times out of 10, it's the cup of tea for me. So, yeah, like I'm just inspired by a lot of the things that I feel. I'm inspired by like just colors and feelings and emotions that just are evoked through people. And making sure that whatever I feel is exuded through my art and making sure people actually feel something too. Yeah, it may look very wild and wonky and just like, bro, you got a million layers like going crazy. And it's like, I do, but it's more so about how did I get there mentally and putting that idea forward to make sure that it's expressed properly.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, the chills. Okay, wow. All right. Well, I think I'm really, really excited. I know that everybody in the chat, if y'all are excited, please let me know. Just be like, yo, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to start. Roy, so go ahead. I think we're going to be is it Lightroom and Photoshop today, or what's the plan?
We are going to start in Lightroom.
Beautiful.
So, just to give like a quick breakdown, I am working between 2 different types of concepts. Between these 2 days, day 1 will be a part of my small spaces series. So what that looks like, let me bring these up, are these photos. Pretty much what they are is just an appreciation for negative space and minimalism and just kind of having that like environment in a small space.
Yeah.
I don't even know why I started doing this series. I just was having fun with it, and yeah, like it was really just having a good time with it, and it kind of expanded into something further. So that's what we'll be working on today. But also just to kind of give you guys a sneak peek of what we're going to be doing for tomorrow. I do these like composites that are just kind of trippy in a way. It uses like color halftones, these like little multi-dimensional portals and stuff like that. Chopping like body parts in half and like filling it with like vibrant colors, like in this one, or even with this one where I use like different parts of the moon and the universe. But a lot of my stuff, as you can see, has some sort of butterfly in it. And that's just like my little tidbit of a signature. So that's what we're going to be working in tomorrow, but I may mix a little bit of those elements in today's composite.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I just love how like vibrant and colorful and like how much life is in each one of these photos. So this is incredible. I'm excited. I know y'all are excited. And so I think we're in a good place to go ahead and get started with what we're going to do today.
Cool.
And if y'all have any questions, please put them down in the chat. I'll be reading them out so that way we can make sure that we get your questions answered. We have that conversation because it's just not me and Roy talking over here. It's y'all too. So make sure that you are active all up in that chat box. And again, if you are over on YouTube, make your way over to Behance so you can join that conversation.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. So where will we be starting? Normally what I do is kind of just, I guess, like get down to a couple of photos that I want to work with. I have not figured out which one I want to work with today. Like I said, we are on the fly. I think I'm gonna go with this one. So we will take these out of my quick collection.
I love that. This is like you shot this in your home space.
Listen, I'm about to be extremely real with you right now. I got pancakes in the back, a sock on the floor, like at home. That's
At
another
home.
thing too. Even just mentioning this, like a lot of people think I have like this elaborate studio, and it's not to downplay my work or nothing like that, but more so to just be honest.
Yeah.
You don't really need a lot of space or a lot of anything to create amazing art. Use your resources, use them wisely. Don't, blow your pockets and empty your wallet trying to create something cool. Just make sure that you actually can use the things around you, use your resources, like I said, and create what you want to create. Yeah. So
somebody said, as long as the pancakes aren't on the floor, we're good.
No, not the floor cakes.
Not the floor cakes, not the floor cakes. And then before you get started, someone had a good question that I think would be great to talk about real quickly. Do you ever do a quick sketch of your ideas?
Oh, no, it's in my head. It should be a quick sketch. That would be beautiful, but it's always in my head. I have an idea of what I want, and I kind of just go for it. If it works, cool. If I get inspired by something else in the process, switch gears a little bit, but it's all about how you adjust.
Yeah. Awesome. So it looks like we're in photo. So did you just export and go straight over to Photoshop?
Oh, I could show you that as well. So just within the process, right clicking and going to edit in Photoshop, it'll just pull it into Photoshop. That way, when I save it, it'll save a copy back into Lightroom, into my quick collection.
Okay, perfect.
Cool. So I'm gonna go into Photoshop. And this is where things get kind of interesting.
It's where the magic happens.
Right. So with working in my apartment, obviously you can tell the backdrop is not filled within this space. What I'm going to do is just fill it in. Simple as that. We're using the patch tool to select that area. And you can use any selection tool you want to. I just use the patch tool because that's just
what works for you.
Yeah, that's like a weapon of choice. Selecting all of that out. And then content aware. Wait a minute, no, where did it go? All right. There we go. So once I make sure that it is all selected, I shift delete, which brings up the content aware panel.
Okay.
Hit enter, and all of this is probably going to either A, be filled in properly, or B, be a complete mess that I still have to go clean up in a minute. But either way, it's fine. And now we just wait.
Now we just wait. It's a game of patience at this point.
Patience and prosperity.
And prosperity. Go ahead. Snaps to that.
Exactly. How much more patient can we be? I don't know. But when it works, it works.
Bam.
See what I mean?
Okay. I've never actually, this is one thing that I've always wanted to learn how to expand your background. And so that was a quick and easy way. You still have to go and clean up, but at least you have like a solid base.
Right. So we could either do two things. I could clean all of this up and kind of work in the details. Or I could pull a color, not even pull a color. I could pull her off of the background and then pull one of the colors from the background and kind of paint it in. This is
giving magic.
Kind of, sort of, in a way.
So
I think I'm gonna pull her off of there. That might be a little bit easier. Let's see.
You're gonna pull the plant too?
Yes, I will. All of the surrounding elements. And the one thing that you want to make sure that you do is keep the shadows in there too. Because if you don't, it's just gonna look strange.
Exactly.
So I'm gonna make sure all of this. Actually, I'm gonna just select a good amount of this. Because even if it's not all the way like just properly selected within it, all right, it's just something weird. Yeah, even if it's not like properly selected, like I'm gonna go back and select and mask. Why is it continuously doing that? Don't worry about that thing. So a good piece of that is selected.
Got it.
Now what we'll do is mask all of this stuff out.
And then so once you selected, what did you press to get the mask?
Hold up, let me go back real quick. So right up in here is select the mask right up at the top.
Bam, there you go.
Yep. And that's like the easiest way to just get in. Like, say for instance, if you're not doing something like crazy detail, well, not really crazy detail, but more so like compositing. If you're doing something that's like retouch heavy, where you need to go clean up hair, that helps a lot. So like them little spaces and stuff that you see in there, you don't want that.
Yeah.
You want to select all of where her hair actually is.
Got it.
In hopes that it takes out all of the brown area from the background. Which it may possibly do. What do I need to change in here? Okay, it is color aware. So I may do it reverse actually to make this easier on my life.
We love something that's easier. Easier sometimes. It's just better, brings you that peace.
Right. That is the key to all of this.
Oh, Cody said that the model's hair is beautiful. I agree.
Yeah, her hair is amazing. Shout out to Brianna. She is a musician in Atlanta. Wow. One of my amazing, talented friends doing her thing out here.
Shout out to Brianna.
All right, so let's see if the reverse feels a little bit better. All right, not selecting everything. Cool. Gonna go back in and make sure this is pulled properly.
How long do you usually find yourself like spending on trying to just kind of mask everything correctly? Is it just depending on how much you got going on in the photo? If it's just a subject, if you have objects?
It's one of them things, like it really just depends. Like with this should not be like so strenuous. But for some reason it is giving me a time right now. But yeah, other things, like it just depends on what colors you use. You don't want, say for instance, like the clothing and stuff. You don't want the clothing to match the background because that would be annoying to even try to deal with. You really don't want their skin tone to match too heavy either.
Yeah.
Because again, you have to get like extremely detailed with it. But yeah, it really just depends. So we're not gonna do any of that because that is also gonna give me a hard time. But there's always other options. So what I'm gonna do is pull her out a different type of way.
Okay.
That's the one thing about Photoshop though that took me a while to really like understand. It's like, you know, when you know like 2 + 2 = 4, but you don't know what else equals 4. It's just like, dang, like 1 + 3 also equals 4.
Yeah.
10 - 6 = 4. Like,
yeah.
So when you're in it, you don't like see it 100% until you understand like a lot of the different tools. So like the first thing I was about to do, I was gonna pull her off.
Yeah.
And that would have helped me be able to create a whole new background for her. Cool. For some reason, it's not my day doing it. That's why I say it's extremely on the fly. Trying to select the background out, it's like giving me a hard time as well. And in my head, I know I could fix it, but not about to spend 2 hours trying to fix a background. So what we're gonna do is actually just select her fully out of here.
And like you said, like there are multiple ways to get whatever it is that you're looking for. I know for me, I always say like, you might know a way of doing one thing, there's probably 10 other ways for me to get that same result.
Exactly.
So just figuring out what works best for you.
That is the key. That's a lot of times, like, people ask me to teach them how to edit. And I think that's like one thing that I can show you the tools. I can't teach you how to feel it though.
Yeah.
Like, you got to really like feel into it to feel what works for you.
Yep.
So let's see. She is off of here now.
Bam.
Again,
okay.
This looks strange, but it'll make sense in a minute. So normally what I would do for this particular series is work everything into a square.
Okay.
But I only use like the cropping tool to create my guides.
Okay.
And it will make sense just in one moment.
I see that Tim also put some options there as well. He said, check out the refine hair bottom button at the bottom. He said that going to select subject can also be a great start for selection as well. So there's multiple ways to kind of get whatever it is that you're looking for.
Yeah. Wait. Hey, select subject. That would have been interesting.
That would have, yeah. So
that would have been interesting.
Let me call out Tim's comment because Tim is dropping some gems.
Exactly. Shout out to Tim. So again, this is gonna look and feel extremely weird for a second, but bear with me. Pull that, and we're gonna bring that in there. Boom. All right. So you see all of this weird wildness that's going on around here. What we are gonna do is duplicate her because I may mess up. That's all a part of the process.
You know what? That's it. It's always important. Duplicate your layer. That way, if you mess up, you don't have to start all over. You can at least, delete that layer and start again. So
exactly. Make sure I actually duplicate both. And then I'm gonna merge those two together. Hide this one. So with that, to make life easier, once again, I'm going to use the patch tool, select this color that I made for the background, and go in and just paint it out. Let me hide my guys because it's going to start being weird. And then it'll start blending. No, not from that area. Wrong spot. And make sure your opacity is turned up. Mine is on 50. Yeah. And it should be on 90. But you see like the edge?
So, yeah.
Right. You want to get close enough to where it's like blending in, but not like so close to where she starts to blend. Right.
We're just focusing on blending in that background.
So that may be a little too high. So we're going to bring that down. Maybe back to 60. Yeah, this is such a, I don't know. It's like very loose of a way to do it. Like, again, I could have taken a few different approaches with it and just figured it out in a different way of like selecting her, pulling it out.
Yeah.
But with this, I mean, it's essentially doing exactly the same thing. And you see it's like 10 times faster for whatever reason.
Yeah. And I'm noticing that you're using a tablet, correct, to edit?
Yes, my Wacom tablet.
we love a good Wacom tablet.
Yeah, shout out to Wacom. They got me through college, working on assignments. And I think before I even started using the tablet, I was just I still kind of dibble and dabble between like the trackpad, using a mouse, until your wrists start acting up.
Yeah.
Can't even shoot your jump shot no more. Yeah. It's over. But yeah.
Yeah. I oftentimes, sometimes it's easier for me to grab my trackpad or grab a mouse and try to edit, but then like that wrist starts hurting. I have a Wacom tablet, but I also have an iPad. So I recently started using my iPad as a tablet as well, which has been really dope. Because you can you can do the sidecar thing or whatever, and you can use your iPad as like a second monitor and just kind of like drag over Photoshop, Lightroom, whatever you're using, and then use your Apple Pencil as like your your tool to kind of go ahead and do whatever editing you're doing. So because it's pressure sensitive. So I love to do that. Since I already have that tool, you can utilize it and turn it into a tablet. So that's a gem right there.
You did that, and now I'm about to go spend money on this beautiful Wednesday.
No.
Bank account about to be empty. Shout out to Idara for the peer pressure on the Apple.
Listen, I'm gonna spend your money for you. So
man, I have been thinking about it for a while because I'm like, what's the benefit of working on an iPad versus a tablet? Like, what is the difference? Am I gaining anything from actually using an iPad versus just using a tablet like I have been?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
It just depends on what your workflow is. I know for me, when I use a tablet, it took me so long to kind of get comfortable because I have to look at my screen, but then I'm doing movements here to kind of make sure I'm editing the way I want to edit. Whereas if you're on an iPad, you can literally look at whatever you're editing. So your screen is now on your iPad. So you're just it's a little bit easier for me to kind of follow along and edit.
So does it have to be connected to your computer?
So you can do it through Wi-Fi. So it doesn't have to be connected through a cord. You can do it with Bluetooth, I think is what it is. So I'm not the best at explaining technical stuff, but that's just what I do.
Man, look.
And it works, I don't know how in depth you can really get with your workflow, but so far I haven't had an issue with doing, skin retouching or just photo editing for my workflow. So, maybe spend the money on the iPad. I don't know.
Listen, you selling it to me at this point.
I think we have some. So your card's about to be what?
I was about to say my card is about to be empty. What are you saying? The chat?
Yeah, we got a question coming in. Let's see.
Who's the question from?
Fairy. I hope I'm pronouncing that name correctly. The question is, do you ever spinning your pen while you're working on your piece?
Do you ever?
Fairy, can you put that question in the chat one more time? Do you ever spinning your pen while working on your piece?
I feel like I know what they're asking.
Okay.
But I feel like at the same time, that's what I'm about to say. I feel like at the same time, I don't. Spinning my pen. The first thing that came to mind was when those people do this,
okay.
If that is what they're asking.
Would make sense. They said it's a random question. So do you ever find yourself?
Do I? I don't know. I don't think I have consciously done it. I've probably done it before, just random. I want to learn. I've been watching those videos of people doing that all crazy and stuff, or the TikToks where people take the cards and they're flipping it through.
Yeah, not me.
How do you figure that out?
I don't know.
I wish I understood how to do that.
No, maybe your pen can tell you, maybe your pen will speak to you after and be like, man, yeah, you do be spinning me.
Right. You should be spinning me, sir. Sitting on the desk doing nothing. Nah, that is interesting though. That's a good question.
That's a good question.
Dang, now I want to learn. If somebody could find me a video tutorial on how to spin my pen,
little tricks and everything,
I'm out of here. I'll be back 2022 expert mode. That would be amazing. But I am almost done blending this in. I may go back in and clean up the shadows behind here because they're kind of dark, but you get the gist of where I'm going. But it looks a little bit too shadowy. And there's multiple ways to clear that up as well. But I'm gonna finish this out.
So we're still just going in and painting in that backdrop to make everything blend. Right.
And that's the fun, the most fun about this process too. It's I know what I'm getting into every time. And it's just like, man, I can't wait until it's all the way blended. And it's
Yeah.
like, once it is, it's like, oh, like that's what you were gonna look like. Okay, cool. Cool. Let me bring the hardness back down.
What gave you the idea for the small spaces project? Like, how did that even, what made you think, you know, I want to bring in this color, I want to take my subject and make them extremely small, add all this negative space around them, and just like your first like photo from this project, like what made you kind of come up with that concept?
Man, is it okay if I went back to my website really quick?
I think so. Go ahead, pull it up.
Cool. So what we're gonna do is go here. This photo right here, kind of zoom in a little bit. That as well is Brianna, but Brianna from like 2017, 2018 or something like that. So we were shooting something. I think it was something for her music. And I just wanted to like get her in front of the camera just because something in my mind, my chaotic mind, but creative, told me to stand on a chair and shoot her like at an angle, like kind of like bird's eye view in a way. I didn't know what I was doing at the time. Like I had no idea this would even come about.
Yeah.
I edit the photo, and then something, I think at the time I was playing around with the content aware tool, just learning and stuff. And then I did that and was like, oh, you might have unlocked something here, sir. But yeah, like just playing around with it at first. And it wasn't really a concept. It was just like, I'm still creating what I want to create from this. And it turned into that. And from there, I started to do like these other series of photos with my friends, just playing around with that concept still, very subconsciously, but it's like, oh, okay, like this could actually be a thing now.
Yeah.
And then it just turned into something more and more and more. And I showed a couple people. I went on like Twitter Spaces and talked about it a few times, and people were like really intrigued because they'd never seen something like it before.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, well, you know, just let's move forward with it. And I just started shooting a bunch of stuff that way.
Oh, that's dope. That's dope. Sometimes the best ideas just kind of come to you. You just kind of go off of that feeling. When you have that feeling to do it, you just go at it.
That's what we talk about.
It looks like spinning is like an actual like tool or something that you do like with the brush when you're, I guess that's a specific concept. So I don't know anything about it.
Spinning. I've never heard that. You got to teach me something.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was a live stream on it. And so thank y'all for dropping that and educating us in the chat, because I did not know there's spinning, tilting, pressure, hard, soft, all sorts of different tricks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I know about just like all of the other things that you just listed. I can't even think about what you just said, but yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. But I never heard of spinning before.
Yeah. It's an actual technique. So here we are thinking about spinning the pen.
Hey man, I get it. Cool. So all of that is blended for the most part. I'm trying to think, do I want to go back and actually, do I want to go back and clean the shadows in here? Game time decision. I could. It wouldn't hurt. It would, but it wouldn't. I'm fine with that one. So I'm going to duplicate that over just in case I mess up, because I am not perfect.
You got to leave room for imperfection sometimes.
Right. Oof. Let yourself fall down just so you can stand back up.
Yep, exactly.
Nah, that's real. So there's parts of this that I'll like composite wise that I'll get into in a second. Because like I said in the beginning, I may want to, that shadow looks kind of janky. I may want to add some elements from the other thing that I was working on. If I could just get this right. Stop it. There we go. This honestly is just the longest part. Everything else, like,
you have to have patience. Like, you have to have the patience.
Literally. Like, you literally have to. You really don't have a choice. What's your favorite thing to shoot? This is me asking you questions.
Oh, my favorite thing to shoot. I don't know. I love people. So I love to shoot portraits because I don't know. There's something about people's faces that's just so beautiful. Like each person, like you can tell, like, I feel like faces tell stories. So you can see someone and kind of get an idea of like how they're feeling in that moment, or like, you know, something unique. Maybe they have a certain like birthmark, or like, you know, something that makes them unique in their own way. And so I really love portraits because you really get to see a person, and it's all up close and personal. You're like really in their space. So I would say that's my favorite thing to shoot and edit, just because I don't know, there's just something about people's faces that just like just it's like, oh wow, you like that, like let me capture
you look like that. Nah, what you said was like really beautiful though. Like something about people's faces that is like really beautiful. I think to me it's like everybody is captivating in their own way.
Exactly.
And it's different, like you said, stories. Like it's different ways to appreciate a different story every time you look at something, or if you really pay attention to a person and look in their eyes and like read their story and just listen to how they speak. It doesn't matter their personality at all. Like that is a compliment to who they are. But their face and their features, their eyes, their mouth, their nose, and the way like everything is just put together. It's very beautiful.
Yeah, that's why I love like I'll do a lot of my work sometimes are just with, I don't want anything that feels too posed or unnatural. I want you as authentic as you can be. So I love shooting with like friends, family, and really just kind of capturing them, because it's you're capturing who they're not faking. They're not trying to put forth a specific emotion or trying to model or anything. They're just like, all right, cool, take my picture. And so those end up being my favorite, because you really can just kind of, it's just natural. It feels true. It feels warm. It feels authentic. And you can just kind of connect with them, you know, personally. So that's my favorite kind of photo work to do.
That's fun. That's really nice, to be honest with you.
Oh, do you have a favorite?
Damn, it's crazy that I asked you this question and didn't even really have an answer to
I was gonna say.
Ask me. I don't know. I think it is. I honestly think it is portraits. I've done commercial work. I've done what's it called? Like product photography and stuff. Product is fun. I'm not gonna lie, but that also takes a lot of patience as well.
Yeah.
But something about portraits. We talked about this briefly. Like people can wake up every day and like miss a specific side of themselves that they didn't see in the mirror that you actually are able to see and like show them through your eyes. And a lot of the time it's like, you ever have moments where it's just like, you're talking to somebody and it's like, I wish you can like feel what I feel, or like hear what I hear. Photography is that point of view where it's like, I wish you can see what I see, but here it actually is. Like you may not see it within yourself. And it's like a really big confidence boost for people too. It's like, you may not see this within yourself, but this is how I see you. And, you know, a lot of the times that honestly, within my line of work where I started, again, shout out to Brianna. I started shooting with her. when I first picked up my camera and wanted to learn studio photography.
Yeah.
And she was like, I don't like being in front of the camera. I don't like this, blah, blah, blah. Don't know what to do with my hands. And years later, she's like a natural. Like, get in front of the camera and it's just like, ooh, ooh.
Yeah.
Like, dang, all right, cool.
It's a confidence booster.
Exactly. And it doesn't really, you know, it doesn't take much but a photo.
Yeah, that's it. And, you know, I saw Fairy put a comment in here. They said, me, when I photograph people, my mind goes blank. I think the important part is sometimes just to like go off of the feeling that you have shooting that person, like connect, have conversation, just kind of get to know who that person is. And then you'll naturally be able to capture them. Sometimes I'll just be talking to somebody and we're joking, they're moving around, and then I'll be like, ooh, do that again, move like that again. Cause it just felt like there's a moment that you want to capture. And so I don't know, I feel like when you remove the pressure, you just allow it to be really natural and focus on the connection, then that's when you really get the best portraits.
Focus on being organic.
Yes, focus on being organic. If y'all are watching from YouTube, please, again, make your way to Behance. We got some questions coming in the chat, and I know y'all have some questions. So if you're on YouTube, don't miss out. Come over on Behance. I see that Jasmine put a question here. Are you ready for it? It's a long one.
I am ready. Shout out to Jasmine from wherever you were calling in from. Not calling in.
Jasmine says, do you ever get lost in design as you're doing this early work on the photo? Like if you had an idea in mind at the beginning, do you keep that thought throughout the process or just let art take over?
Jasmine, I'm gonna answer that and tell you no. I'll have ideas as I'm going through this. Like I know I want to put a cloud over her head and somewhere in between this plant. If I get deep in it and it's just like, you lied, I don't want to do that no more. Mm-hmm. I'll switch up and just kind of go into a different game plan. Somewhere down the line, I kind of want to, I don't know, like add a floor in here somewhere if I could. If I can, cool. If I can't, what can I do about it? Like, just gonna do something different.
We're just gonna go with the flow and see what happens.
Right. Like I said earlier, the key to a lot of this stuff is, you know, how much time do you want to spend doing something that you don't even feel is like 100% a part of your game plan? So like that whole floor thing, it could take me 10 minutes or 10 days. Like it just depends on how in depth I want to get with it. If it starts working, then I'll put in that time and invest it. If it's not really feeling right while I'm doing it, then I'm not going to spend a majority of my time like really trying to lock it in and knock it out. But that was a good question.
I feel you on that. And it seems like you also know Lauren. She said, major confidence boost. Rory definitely made me feel that way. This is the best feeling ever to be shown a side of yourself that other people see.
Lauren who? Is their last name in there?
Davis.
Lauren Davis. Shout out to Lauren. Lauren actually, and I'm just plugging her away just because we're already here. Lauren is based in Atlanta. She has an amazing baking business. Oh, wow. Why am I blanking on the name? That is sad because I actually made the logo for it.
Wow.
She's still in the chat.
Oh, Lauren. Lauren.
She can put the name of her business in the chat. But I'm definitely like, she's amazing. She is extremely amazing. She makes amazing cakes, cupcakes, all of the nine. And she always makes I don't do dairy. So she makes like vegan birthday cupcakes, which
that's beautiful because I don't do dairy either. That's beautiful. Yeah, I'm team no dairy. I can't be. I'm not about that life no more.
Listen, I miss nachos sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. Cake of ATL.
That's what it is. I was about to say cake of Atlanta, but I'm like, that's not it, and I don't want to say anything else. So.
Ooh, Lauren Plug, do you ship?
I don't know if she ships. That would be amazing if she did ship. Lauren, if you don't ship, you need to ship.
You need to ship because I am here in Arizona and I could use some dairy-free cakes. So, cake of ATL.com.
There it is.
Bam.
Cool. So all of that time I just spent blending that out. that is looking a lot better. The shadows and
Perfect.
stuff will get a little bit more decreased once I go into Lightroom and start grading a little bit more. But one small element that I always bring into my pieces, let me pull it up. Boom. Now we got to figure out how I'm gonna incorporate this cloud in here.
Where did you get? Oh, hold on, I might have missed that. Where'd the cloud come from? Hold on, run it back.
From my brain. It all came from my brain.
Run it back. Run it back.
So I use stock like PNGs and stuff like that. When I'm like working within these different composites, you can either create your own from like photos that you take, obvious, or you could just pull it. 9 times out of 10.
Got it.
Since I'm working fast like this, I just pull them from like free stock, or I license them or whatever.
Okay.
Just to make sure I have them on hand. But yeah, for this, I'm just gonna use this like license stock that I have.
All right, cool. What we doing with the cloud? The cloud looks nice and ready to go.
Somewhere in between. Oh, the in-betweens. We might just, this is the on the fly part that I'm talking about. Like, we could have this in here, which, yes, I know it's in front. It looks crazy as hell. Like, we're gonna fix that. Definitely gonna fix that. So what I'm gonna do, let me select this first. Put that out on here. Where is this? I'm gonna actually keep this in here and just decrease it to 10 or 30 so I can still see it a little bit.
I was gonna say it's gone.
It's out of here. Let's see. Gonna pull that selection in.
Okay, so we selected that part, and then what are we about to do now?
Chop it out.
Chop it up. Okay.
Well, not chop her up, but chop the cloud off.
Okay. I was like, we there yet?
You got excited.
I was like,
ooh. That's too funny. Let's see if I can get in here without. Yeah, it's gonna be weird. No, not control. The very meticulous parts of doing this. When it works, it works. When it doesn't, but it is fine. That is why we adjust and figure it out.
That is why we adjust.
Some of the, what am I? I'm just bring radius right because it's supposed to be at 0. I'm not even going to do it that way.
You know, I have a question.
What's up?
So throughout this process, like we started off with the raw image, and then we sent it into Photoshop, and that's what we're doing all this and that. Do you at all edit as a photographer? Do you at all edit the image at all? Like edit her, do any retouching or anything? Or you just kind of, do you do that in the beginning? Do that at the end? Am I getting ahead of myself?
You know I edited. Come on. Come on.
I mean, I know, but the people might not know.
True. That is true. So yes, I do edit. What I do, like within this process, it is on the fly, I will say, but it's slightly structured. So when I bring it from Lightroom, it consists of, within this specific process, it consists of putting the model or subject, whatever it may be, on their color, which is their background. Putting in different like elements of whatever I want in it, whether it's clouds, whether it's a hummingbird, whether it's a butterfly, the whole 9. Once all of that is done, I'll go in, do some retouching on the skin, just to make sure it's all cleaned up. If I don't like, it's not necessary. Like you don't have to if you don't want to. Yeah. But I like just making sure that it's all cleaned up, because when I finish it, you'll see like I'll create two versions of it. One is just a virtual copy of the zoomed out version. And pretty much I'll send the model a version of them just like kind of close up, where it's just like a normal photo. And then the one that is a part of the small spaces, that's all the way zoomed out. So that brings the reasoning behind the retouching, because it's like when you show the zoomed up, you want it all the way cleaned up.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Awesome. We have someone said that that's a very nice cloud. I know the cloud is already looking really great. Thank you, Tim, for dropping the stock link for Adobe. We have another question. Spencer Griffin. What is up, Spencer? I hope you are well. Spencer. Spencer says, when it comes to project creativity, are you a believer of you either have it or you don't? Or do you have advice on where/how people can draw inspiration to jumpstart their creative minds?
Ooh, I never say people don't have it. Everybody has it. Everybody's an artist, to be honest with you.
Period.
I've looked at that since like elementary school. One of my art teachers told me, if you could write your name, then you're an artist. Like, because you have to know how to do like the lines, the muscle memory behind like writing is an art within itself. So you know how to be creative. You just have to tap into what it is that you actually like. That's the self-realization part.
Yeah.
You have to know yourself to know how to create what it is that you feel. And it's not to say that you don't know yourself. It's just take a little time to do some soul searching, some deep digging. A lot of my work early on came from like a lot of pain that I was dealing with. So I would just go run to my camera or run to my computer or run to my notebook and sketch or get a canvas and start painting some stuff out. And that within itself is just the way that I learned how to cope, but it's also a creative outlet that I saw. For people that just need that boost of inspiration, bro, it's nothing wrong with going on Pinterest and making a mood board. Honestly, talk to your friends. Like, have deep conversations and vulnerable conversations with your friends. That'll inspire you to do a lot.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I talk with friends and family all the time just about whatever's on my mind. And I used to feel weird because it's like I'm a grown man talking about deep emotions until you realize it's just like everybody is just human at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Like, express yourself the way that you have to. And within the moment of, understanding all of that, I'm gonna circle back and get back into the creative loop. That and those conversations from just those emotions that you feel, because as artists, all we are is just this big ball of emotion. We just use creativity to get it out. And emotion doesn't have to always be sad or like pain or like angry or something like that. Like, you could be the happiest person in the world. I'm about as happy as a butterfly outside on a summer day right now creating. So I'm chilling. But my inspiration to even do all of this just came from something that I just wanted to do because I felt it within myself to do it. So finding that, like, take some time to just be comfortable with you. Like, be comfortable with you, be comfortable with what you're creating and what you think about, and just understand, like, I know this may sound kind of mushy, but like, really like fall in love with yourself, and that'll help you create the things that you honestly want to create.
Ooh, snaps to that. Whoa. Really fall in love with yourself. I think that's I don't even have the words. I can't even follow up. So
Idara, you do have the words. But nah, that's like,
it's
as
real
as it
though.
gets.
Yeah, it's real though. I feel like for me, when I think about my photography career, a lot of it was for a while. And I think there's power in finding inspiration to kind of get things jump started, but you also want to be careful that you're not trying to make somebody else's voice your own. So really making sure that let that kind of get you an idea of what you like, what colors do you like, what types of photos do you usually navigate towards, and then use that as a tool to kind of drive your own art and be, okay, I know I like this. I'm not going to try to copy what someone else has done, but I'm going to use that as my inspiration to kind of see, what is it that I truly like? What can I create based off of that? And so really giving yourself that opportunity to connect with yourself. And then, like you said, with time that voice will be developed throughout your work. So everybody's got it. You just got to spend the time. You just got to be vulnerable and spend the time.
And trust yourself.
Yes.
Like, trust yourself and trust your judgment and trust your voice. If something feels right, you'll understand it because the universe will tell you that's exactly you speaking through your work. If it doesn't feel right, don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
And that goes, bro, that goes for anything. Like, if you're about to work a gig and the vibe is off,
don't do it. Run the other way.
The money could look amazing.
Dip.
Don't do it. Do not do it. Take it from me. I've been in situations where something just fell off and you just kind of like, but I mean, that check though, is looking kind of spicy. Yeah. But nah, it's just not worth it. It's not worth your peace at the end of the day. I was telling you this too. Like, protect your peace at all costs. Absolutely. And if that means like not doing something to protect your peace and protect the peace that you've created around your creativity and the juices that you need to create, don't do it. Yep. Make sure that you align with yourself when you do these different things.
Yep, absolutely. So are we using the pen tool now? Did we switch up to a pen tool?
Man, see, I told you I'm all over the place. So what I'm doing right now is a little bit more detailed. I'm going in and selecting the plant and her arm out of where that cloud is.
Okay.
So it can like mix and mingle and have a little fun really quick, which, you know what? I might backtrack slightly. Yeah, I think I got a new idea. This is where the new ideas come in.
Yep, you got to leave yourself room to just kind of let everything flow.
Exactly. So what I was going to initially do is cut out I'm pointing at the screen like you can see me. Cut out everything that would be over her arm, but I wanted to look a little bit more detailed. So I'm cutting out the plant and letting the cloud flow between her arm and the plant.
Got it. Okay.
Bear with me. It'll make sense in about 17 minutes. Probably less than that.
I was going to say that was very specific. That was very specific.
Nah, probably like 4 minutes or something like that.
Oh my goodness. So what got you into creating? How did that all start? Where did you pick up a camera one day and say, I'm gonna do this? Did you go to school for anything? Like where did that all start from?
Deep conversation. All right, cool.
We having deep conversations, and the chat is enjoying it. I hope y'all learning and taking some gems too with you. So
exactly. Shout out to the chat. So for me, I have been an artist since it feels like since I was born, kind of, sort of. Again, I'm from New Orleans, so majority of the city is just a big piece of art. Mm-hmm. I've been drawing and sketching since I was about 6, 7, maybe. I didn't really know what that was at the time. I didn't know that you can have a career off of art. I just knew I liked to do it. Mm-hmm. I got made fun of for doing it, and I was just like, I don't care. I'm chilling. Like, I'm having fun. Yeah. Within that, in high school, I took some graphic design classes and was like, oh, this is like a thing. Like, all right, cool. Went to college for design. While I was in school, I saw there was a void that needed to be filled because you don't just need to know design. You need to know illustration. You need to know photography. You need to know composition in general.
Got it.
Within that, while I was in school, my hustle without having a job was selling sneakers. So I would buy rare sneakers, clean them up, flip them, make some money. I bought a camera. That was the whole goal. Bought a camera, kind of didn't really know what to do with it. And in the midst of, I think it was my junior year, from freshman year up until junior year, my mom was really sick. She was diagnosed with breast cancer. And that was photography was something she didn't really understand art, what it meant, graphic design is like, what is this again? Like, what are you doing? You got a computer. It costs $2,000 for this computer. What is this? But photography is just like that relatable thing that everybody gets because it's on your phone. Like we all understand that. So I know I'm like long-winded with this story, but I'm getting to the good part. The mix of all of the things that I do came from school. Photography more so came from her. When she was sick in the hospital, she was buying me like photo equipment, like not knowing what it was, just stuff on eBay and Amazon. Like, oh, look at this, like a backdrop stand. And it's like, great, mom, take your medicine, please. Like, please just focus on like you right now. But it'll be days in and days out. She's like just in the hospital buying me stuff. And I'm just like, all right, I don't know what to do with it, but I'm gonna stock it up back home and figure it out at some point. 2014, I believe it was, she passed away. And like that for me kind of shook my world up. Like, I don't know what to do. I'm going into my senior year of college. I don't care about nothing no more except art. Everybody leave me alone. Like I'm just in that space of just not understanding life at this point. From there, it was like, do I take photography and I run with it? Or do I just stop doing this because whatever, like for whatever reason you may have. For me, I took it and ran with it because it was another way that I could use as a creative outlet to express myself. For that, also a good segue. For that, within the small amount of time that I had been shooting, I did this book, which was dedicated to her. The project is called 000, which if you understand hexadecimal code, that is the code for Black. The premise of all of it was speaking on Black women and the appreciation of their hair and their hair journey. Whether it's a positive hair journey, whether they're having like negative feelings about their hair, just expressing themselves and being as vulnerable as they want to do. And I put it in a collection and had an art show around it and everything. But the root of it all came from when I saw when she lost her hair the first time she was diagnosed with cancer. It was like, you know, you just really like off the game a little bit, like, oh, this is affecting you in a different way. I had long locks at the time when she had breast cancer, and I was like, Mom, I'm gonna just cut my hair with you, we're gonna be bald together. She's like, no, baby, don't do that. Don't do that. You don't know what your head look like. But yeah, like the project was based around her because it's like you saw something within me that I didn't even understand.
Mamas know. Our moms know.
Do they? And yeah, I ran with it. Like ever since then, it was just like, all right, you saw it, I'm gonna keep going and I'm gonna make you proud with it. And it just was like opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. And it's like, dang, you really aligned this with my life, because 5-year-old me didn't have a camera, wasn't looking at photos and stuff. It was always cool, but now it's like, okay, cool. I'm really successful at this and I'm having fun with it. So yeah, there's my long breakdown, not to like derail from the editing or nothing. But yeah, that's my little two pieces
that was there. Powerful. That was powerful. You got to let your experiences just kind of, again, you just really got to be open to anything, because you really don't know where life's going to take you. Like you never know. And letting your experiences also drive your art. I love that you did that project, because what you were experiencing that in that moment, although there might have been some hurt, some pain that came through that, created, you know, a part of that probably impacted people. And so there's just so much that you can do with your art. It's ridiculous.
Exactly. That is exactly my point. Wait, come back. Did I do that wrong? Dang, I did that wrong.
No.
It's all good though. So I have an idea. I'm gonna bring this all the way back.
So we're still trying to get that cloud behind her arm.
Wait. Did I do that wrong? I did. Okay, I know what I did wrong. All right, but
so we got this.
I selected the wrong area.
Oh, okay.
Goofy me. All right. So what we're gonna do is go back in and select it again.
Yes.
Again, I'm not perfect. I
No.
be messing up all the time, and I'm cool with that because I know
Nah.
how to get right back on track.
That's it. Again, give yourself that grace and that freedom to really just create. And if you mess up, you'll figure it out, no matter how long it takes.
Give yourself grace.
Give yourself grace.
What is the chat looking like? Is there any questions from
Yes,
anybody?
I was gonna give you another question. This is another long one. All right, you ready for this? Lauren Davis is asking, do you have any advice for upcoming artists who maybe don't have access to those graphic design courses in high school or aren't in college for art and design that want to tap into photography?
Ooh. Do I have any advice?
Yes.
For artists who don't have those resources. It's a privilege to even say you have the resources to use, now that I really think of it. Dang.
It's a privilege for sure.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to really chew on that one because I don't know.
One thing I would say is if you don't, because I know for me as a photographer, I took a photo class in high school. I did that, we did digital, we did film, but I didn't actually tap into photography until my senior year of college. So you can imagine that was senior year of high school to senior year of college. And by that point, I didn't remember anything from that class. And I didn't have the money to now start picking up class or courses and stuff. YouTube University taught me everything that I need to know. If you have access to the internet, if you have access to a library where you can just go hop on a computer and just look for videos, that's a really great place to start because there's so many people that are teaching you how to do graphic design, how to shoot, where to start. And that could be really helpful to kind of just learn and get an idea of what's going on and how you can hopefully use whatever resources you do have to create the art.
See, my mind went way too deep into that question because I was like, dang, you don't have a camera, you don't have a computer, your school don't offer, like some schools don't offer art programs. A lot of schools cut that out the budget. No, like for sure. When you think about it from an angle of just using like things like YouTube or just starting small, like if you have a cell phone,
bam, you got a camera right there.
So you can learn off of just that alone. You could look things up on YouTube. The way I learned how to edit outside of just like school and just teaching myself the different tools and stuff. Aaron Nace, he runs Flern. He also had an Adobe Live that just happened. I think it was last week.
And that's another tool. That's another tool. YouTube University, Adobe Live, like we're here today. All of that will teach you.
He teaches how to composite in the coolest way I've ever seen. And it's quick and it's simple. Like I learned a lot from him. Shout out to Aaron Nace. I hope he sees this at some point in his life. Cause he's really helped me like learn a lot just from sitting back and putting in my hours on YouTube University.
Yep, that's it.
There we go. So we've gotten to a point where I got the clouds kind of intermingling in here.
Yes, beautiful. And Spencer actually made another comment. He said, honestly, you having that hiccup made me happy because I'm glad to see someone so talented is also human like the rest of us. Yep, we all mess up.
Man, shout out to Spencer. Is his last name up there too? I need first and last.
Spencer Griffin.
Spencer Griffin. Yeah, shout out to
I love that emphasis. Spencer, man. That emphasis, Spencer Griffin.
Nah, that's like, I mean, we're all human at the end of the day. Like, I'm not a machine. I'm not working through my work and just like, oh, step 1 through 47, I know how to get to it. Like, this isn't so technical to where you have to be so hard on yourself. So like, bro, give yourself, like you've been saying this whole time, Idara, give yourself the grace. That grace. That's the medicine.
Sin also said, Also, shout out to your model. That plant, that plant looks well taken care of. Mine didn't do so well. Is that her? She bring the plant? Is that a plant in your space?
Man, you don't want to see my apartment. I got a jungle. I got a jungle. Yeah. All of the plants in the photos that I shoot are mine. This was my first plant when I moved into my apartment, which I love her so dearly. Dang, what was I doing? Oh, there we go. Yeah, I use corn plants, monsteras. I use birds of paradise, whatever is lying around here that I feel like modeling with the model. You're about to get your, photo shoot.
That's it. Are you erasing the cloud, like parts of the cloud right now?
Yes, okay. But I need to make sure that my hardness is not way too high because start looking kind of choppy.
Yeah, we don't want anything looking choppy.
Yeah, nah, not at all.
When it blended, seamless. Want to believe that cloud was really
in the room.
In the room.
You was invited. Come on now. All right, so let's see. We're actually, what I'm gonna do.
What's next?
I'm gonna blur it out a little bit. So I have do I have my Gaussian blur? Before I lie to y'all, I don't have my Gaussian blur on a shortcut. All right, that's beautiful. Okay, so, or maybe I do. I know why it's not working. Can't have two layers selected at one time trying to blur something out. Awesome.
Oh, good to know.
Awesome. So I'm gonna make it look like it's even more in there by blurring it just ever so slightly. Gonna do that one. And then we're going to just put the same type of effect onto the other cloud. Cool.
All right, cool. We blurred that out a little bit.
So now it looks a little bit more fluffy.
Yes, it does. Oh, wow.
I'm gonna lift this up just a little bit. Yeah, that feels.
We have another question.
What's
up? Y'all are really out here in the chat, just kind of throwing all the questions. Again, if y'all are on YouTube, make your way to Behance. I can't say it enough.
Slide on over.
Slide on over to Behance so you can join the conversation. Jasmine has a question. On the business side, did you already have a good understanding of how much you were worth, or is that a growing process?
Isn't that Jasmine's second question?
That's a good question.
I'm just being like funny. Like Jasmine.
No, that's Jasmine's first question.
Oh, really? Okay, cool.
That's Jasmine's first question.
Jasmine, to answer your first question, what was the question again? Hold on.
You were so caught up on if it was her first or second one.
No, I'm just playing.
You got the question?
Yeah. Did I know like my worth? Is that like the?
Yeah. On the business side, yeah. Did you know your worth, or was that just kind of a growing process?
Nah, I didn't. You got to figure that out for yourself. You don't want to lowball yourself though. That's the key to all of this stuff. Do not lowball yourself.
Yeah.
Understand the hours that you're putting in for what it is that you're doing, and always value that. I know that's like extra generic, but I can't tell you how much your work is worth. Yes. You know how much your work is worth. You know how much it took for you to actually like put all of this together. I don't know what it took. And that's where like a lot of things kind of get skewed in a way. Yeah. Because you'll hear like some people like they'll take on gigs for like $60,000 and it's like, dang, you took home $60,000. Like, no, not exactly. 60,000 was broken up into different pieces. Like you got to pay the model, you got to pay, you got to pay the talent, whoever the talent is, you got to pay makeup, stylists, all of these different things, studio equipment, all of these costs. You might walk away maybe a smooth 20, 25%. And that's just me throwing a random number out there, just depending on what it is that you're doing. But if you starting small at first, I remember when I first started, I was charging like $100 and it was like this, I mean, it's getting me by. Like I got money in my pocket. Then I kind of upped it for it's more so for like accessibility reasons, because you don't want anybody just hitting you up like, I got $3, bro. What you want to do? Like, sir.
Because you still gotta respect yourself.
Come on now. Like, that's the thing. You never want to do it cheap. You never want to do work for cheap. If your price, let's just say your price is $100. If somebody tell you I got 99, no. Go find $1.
It's $100.
Go find $1, because you want to put that respect on your name as far as like what it is that you're doing.
Yeah.
It's either you're gonna do it for free because you see the opportunity that's within it. And sometimes like I'll do work for free because I mean it may be something aligned with it where it's like, I know I just really want to do this.
Yeah.
Cool. And it's not me devaluing my work or nothing like that. It's just like I literally just want to work on this. Like that's it. But never do it for cheap. Either do it your full price or do it just because as like a favor or something like that. A lot of people pull favors here and there where it's like, all right, if I do this for you, then I'm gonna need this on the back end, or I need these different things or whatever. So you just got to know what that looks like for you. Yeah,
it's a growing process for sure. And dang, I was wrong.
What?
Jasmine came back and said, no, it was my second question.
I was just being funny. I just wanted to know if she had asked me.
You were right, but you were right. No, but it's true. I think you just kind of, with time, you need to be able to value yourself and know like understanding how much, time have you put into this? How much experience do you have? Like all of that comes, I'm in a space now that like, I might charge a certain amount and people might think, oh, like, just because I'm charging, it doesn't necessarily have to take me a long time. It just means I have so much experience, I can do it very well.
Yes.
So you got to be able to respect that. And the people that want to hire you, bring you on and pay you respectfully will do so.
Exactly. All right, so I'm about to do something.
What we do? Are we chopping up something?
We chopping up the trees.
Oh, it's time to chop up. Let's go.
Shout out to nature one time.
Yes.
So, all right, before I do that though,
what's up?
Birds or butterflies? Just pick one. Don't even think about it.
Butterflies.
All right, cool. Well, that's what we're gonna do. I need to pick a green. What green do I want to use? We're gonna pick a green from there, amp it up a little bit. Cool.
So what tool did you just use right now to kind of start that chop up process, to get that circle there?
This is the ellipse tool.
Ooh, okay.
All I did was just make it to where it kind of aligns with the perspective of how I'm about to chop it. Okay. Let me actually, I need that one. So let me bring that one back. This is what we're gonna do. This is the very intricate piece. Before I get into that though, the clouds, I love them. Like,
good. We saw
they're all good to go. I thought about adding some sort of mist within there. Mm-hmm. Not really feeling it because don't really want to go into detail with adding a fog it's just gonna take too much away from her. So I'm gonna make this chop extremely quick. Okay. So what we're gonna do, we got these two ellipses. This is gonna be the base, so this is gonna stay here. This is, let's see, because I did this a little bit wrong. So we're gonna see if I even know what I'm talking about. All right. Give me a second to figure it out in my head.
No, figure it out. You good.
Let's see, if I add this here, select this here on up, back over, back there, and back down. Make that selection, and then copy that over, bring that, no, that was wrong. It was still on the ellipse there. Why is it still doing that? Because it is inverted. Why is it doing that every time? Cool. So now we got this little piece. Okay. What we want to do.
So you just made the selection, made a copy of it. Now you have that additional piece.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Why is that ellipse under there is the real question. I see what I did. Okay. So I'm gonna copy this back over because this got chopped in the process because I was not paying attention. So bring that back up. Take that layer out. Cool. Now, we are going to select, and I'm doing this backwards than I normally would do it. So it's not the right way to do it, but it's not the wrong way. So I need to make this, we're getting like deep into the pixels now. I need to make this align as close as possible with the shape of this plant. That's about as good as I want it to get.
Okay.
Since I did it backwards, no, I don't need to be on that layer. I need to be back on her layer. I need from here, even if it's just above this, I don't really need it to be proportional or just right in general, but I need this selection so that I know that this is going to align with this piece. Again, this is like very weirdly wild of how I'm doing it. I do it a way easier way. But I work against myself on accident. So it is what it is. So we're gonna take that, duplicate it over. No, wrong thing. Invert that out. Duplicate that. So now we have this piece.
All right, okay, perfect.
So we want this. We also want this, but from this image.
Okay.
Let me make sure it's not inverted. It is not inverted. So we're going back in and we're going to Command J if you're on a MacBook. And now we got this piece. No, come back. Come back. Where is it? That piece. 6. That's what it is. Cool. So 6 should not be doing that. Stop it. There we go. Is it there? There we go.
Ah, there we go.
Right. So we got that. And we got this. And we're going to select both of them.
Okay.
We're actually going to merge those. Merge them up. Merge them up. Now, what I want to do is make sure that this doesn't exist. What I'm going to do with that, where is it? This needs to be selected.
Oh,
that needs to be.
I'm so intrigued. And we have a couple of questions that are coming in.
Go ahead.
Oh, are you ready for them?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Okay, cool. The first one is, what was your first camera?
Woo! Canon T2. Canon T2.
I feel like a lot of us started with that Rebel series. It was a Rebel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I feel like we all started with a Canon Rebel of some sort.
The good old days. Like that was a good time in life.
That was a good time.
Yeah, that was like the first camera that I picked up, I would say. Trying to think, was there anything before that? No. Nah. I think that was it.
Awesome. Because I had a Canon Rebel SL1. It was one of like the mini small Rebels that I begged my mom to buy for me. And so you gotta start somewhere. Gotta start somewhere. All right, so that was one. There's another question from Jamal that says, would you ever consider breaking into film? I've seen your artistry has stretched into music recently. Do you have any visuals in mind for your music or any music for that matter?
Film. I don't know. It's fun to play with. Like, it's one of those things, like, even just speaking toward the music and stuff, like, a lot of times when you, as a creative, as an artist, whatever you want to call yourself, you need like space away from things that were hobbies that became work. To where it doesn't feel like so much work is on your plate. So like I get people asking me would I do videos and stuff, and it's like, I mean, I would. I don't mind per se. This is kind of scratchy. I wouldn't mind, but nah, not for like another job. Because sometimes you just want to, again, you got to protect your peace. Like music in video, when I do like videos for music that I create, it's more so just for the expression of the content, and not really for like for hire, if that makes sense. I'm not looking to get a gig from making music videos, or I'm not looking to book me filming commercials or directing commercials. There's a lot of there's a lot of notoriety and money behind it and stuff like that, but it's just not the thing that I would do.
Yeah.
It's fun though, don't get me wrong. Like I have a lot of fun when I do like videos and stuff like that, but I wouldn't turn it into a job.
I hear you on that. Other question is, can you talk about your Polaroid series you've been working on? I saw it on your IG and I love it. Lauren Davis.
That is, shout out to Lauren one more time. Yeah, so like that's something that I just do in my spare time when I'm just having fun, where like friends may come over, I may have my Polaroid with me, or I may just hit somebody up and be like, hey, come take a picture real quick. Since my name is Roy, and you can't spell Polaroid without Roy, I just put Polaroid, and I just started doing it for fun. It's like really, like, it's relaxing. It's extremely humbling. It really makes you like understand you only really have one shot to make this photo. Like you could spend all your film trying to get one photo, but who wants to do that?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's nice to just get away from the fact that everything needs to be all structured and formatted properly and stuff. Like, nah, just go in and just take a picture real quick. And then what I do with it, I document it. I'll do like an Instagram reel and stuff like that, and just kind of show people who the person is, how we shot what we shot, and then me putting it away in what's it called? In my what is it called? Photo book?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like,
words. I don't know words today. But yeah.
That's dope. That's dope. The name in itself. I see what you did, the little spin on it.
I see what you did there.
I'm picking up what you dropping.
Exactly. But nah, it's really fun. It's just still photography, but like that's the part that isn't a job. It's just like do it for fun.
I think that's the biggest thing with creating art, is that especially when it's something that you enjoy doing, you want to make sure you're having as much fun with it and creating and spending time on those like personal projects that you're just doing because it's fun to do.
Exactly.
And then a lot of the times, if you do enough of that and you start to put that work out there, and if you do want to get hired and start to get paid for work, you might get opportunities that will allow you to create the work that you already love to do.
That's the goal.
That's the goal. Create the work you want to get hired for. Create the work you love and that you want somebody to pay you for. And when time, that opportunity will come. That
is the best advice to give anybody. Like, you want opportunities. Like, for me, another plug. I wanted to be on a magazine. I made a magazine.
Come on.
That is another thing. This is also available on my website. It is an annual magazine with a bunch of work that I do.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like it comes in different ways. You flip it throughout the book, like you turn it sideways. There's different type of interactions that you could take with it. But I wanted to be on the cover of a magazine. I know what that takes to get there. It takes some sort of commercial work, or just booking a gig with a company that actually is working on getting the cover of a magazine, whatever the case is. I just wanted it, and I wanted to call my own, and I did it. So in the midst of that, you can get opportunities from just making that opportunity yourself.
I love that. I have a friend who says, who has this whole concept that's like, I wanted it, so I made it. Like, if you want something and you got a tool, something that you can just make it. Like, you want to make it. Don't wait for the opportunity to be given to you. Don't wait for someone else to do exactly what you think you want to do. Just do it.
Yep. That's the key. That is the key. So I'm going in
All right.
now.
So are we changing the color?
Yeah, just kind of tweaking it slightly, adding some razzle dazzle to this little cutout piece in here. I don't know if I like the orange. What other colors are in here? It's just green, like this sage color. I kind of like that sage color.
Mm-hmm.
Let's pull that. It's kind of dull.
Yeah.
Oh. See what I mean? Like, it's not like...
You just gotta let it feel it and see where you're gonna go with it.
Let it flow. That's it.
I feel like if there's like one, there's so many gems we dropped throughout this whole line. I can't pick one, but let it flow. Give yourself grace, all of that.
Because, man, you can't be so hard on yourself. Like, we're not perfect. Like, we're not perfect by any means. I'm not even asking anybody to be perfect. I'm not, like, my life goal is not to seek perfection.
Yeah.
It's just to chill. Like, I'm about as coasting through life, just having fun and chilling as I can be. Of course, being an adult with priorities and all that other junk that we got to pay attention to. But yeah, like that's the important stuff that you really got to like, all right, I have to be focused for this. But everything else, I'm chilling. I'm not looking to be perfect. And even when I mess up, it's like, so like now I have room to learn and be able to do something better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. So we cut the tree.
Cut the tree. Let's go. Okay.
What we're about to do, we got all of these layers over here. Oh, damn, I didn't add the butterfly. All right, we're going to use...
Oh, yeah, that's true. I did say butterfly. I forgot you asked me.
Yep, see there? So many different things. This is what we're going to do. We're probably
It's another stock image, right?
Stock image. Yep.
Damn.
I'm going to just take the one that I actually like using. We're going to cut that out. Boom, bada bing. Bam.
Hi.
No, wait, not the smart image.
Not
the smart image. Disrupting my disruption. Wait, that's the wrong one.
Perfect.
Inverted.
All right, we're picking the one we want. There we go.
Bam.
Awesome.
Because we are at 2:00.
Yes, we are getting there. We have about 20 more minutes left. I think someone said, I hope I didn't miss a lot here.
Dang, you missed a lot.
But the good thing is you can always refer back to it. If you guys are just now joining or hopping on, making your way in or out, we are working on some photo compositing with Roy. Really just getting creative, seeing how we feel, letting just the moment and emotion just kind of flow into creating this piece of art. And so that's what we're seeing happen thus far.
That's what you missed, my friend.
That's what you missed, but you can always go back and rewatch it.
That means you never missed it at all.
Exactly.
You never missed it at all.
Did you ever miss it? No.
You was here the whole time.
I changed your perspective.
Exactly. Let's see. I kind of want a dull. Yeah, because
where are you now? I think that's hue and saturation, right? So you're...
Yep. Hue and saturation, changing the colors of the butterfly. So I selected it. I could turn it into whatever I want. I might stick with... Nah. I'm gonna stick with this red orange.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice.
Cool. And then I need to select it again. What did I do? What did I just do? Okay. The best thing, even if like I learned this very late, as far as like a shortcut is concerned, it's kind of small, but it may help somebody.
Okay.
Command and click into this automatically selects whatever it is that layer is.
Really?
That blew my mind. Like,
really?
Blew my mind. So like, and it's like I said, it's small, but command click it and it select the butterfly. That way I could go into my adjustments and I could just move like I'm grooving through it.
Yeah.
Let me take it there.
Get that butterfly where you want it to be.
Exactly. So we are done with that. All right. Cool. We're actually on a good pace to finish on time. I'm gonna merge all of these layers together because I am satisfied with what I did. Nothing needs to change.
Beautiful.
now we're about to get into what you mentioned earlier, the retouching. Also learned that from Flern and Aaron Nace. If y'all haven't looked up his stuff or looked up his Adobe Live, I suggest you do. He's like really amazing. One thing that I learned from one of his like Flern tutorials is like frequency separation. So he has like a breakdown of the low frequencies and the high frequencies within a photo on how to retouch skin. I'm about to do like a very quick and dirty job on it. He gets really into detail with it. So explaining this, if y'all got questions, that's cool. I'm about to just flow through it so we can get to
flow through it. Let's go.
Cool. There's also within the tutorial that he has, there's also a actions download that you can get to where you don't have to go in and make every single step if you don't want to. For me, I use it a lot. Sometimes I go into like frequency separation and like just do it myself, like step by step, just doing it myself. But for this, we're gonna use the action today. Cleaning up a couple blemishes in here. Why am I using my trackpad? See, I told you.
There you go.
Dip and dab between the two, and then it's like the arthritis just kicked in. Like, oh, not my wrist giving up.
Not my wrist giving up. Your fingers be cramping and all.
What do we say? Too young to be this old.
I'm too young. That's the thing. I'm too young to be feeling so old. Especially when you go on shoots and you try to bend up, your back be hurting after the shoot. Your arms and this. It's a lot of physical labor we go through. That's even more of a reason to make sure you charge it and get in what you need. Because sometimes I'll do shoots and I'm like, especially if you're into like wedding photography or things where you're on your feet a long time, put that stuff in your packages, y'all. Like make sure you you charge enough to where you could take a little bit of that money and go get yourself a massage afterwards. Because there's a lot of physical labor that we go into creating our art. So you want to make sure you are good. I do that. I know, like I have a little. They don't know. But
it's fine.
I just
Give the
add
game.
it in there. I'm like, you know what? The massage I want is this much. So I'm gonna add it to my package.
Exactly.
No, I'm gonna be in some physical pain later. Too young.
Get yourself a manicure, pedicure.
Yeah, make yourself feel good. Do what you gotta do.
Get you some food.
Yes.
All of that goes into that. So
exactly.
I have not finished cleaning yet, but for the most part, you see I cleaned up a good amount of the blemishes in there. What I'm going to do now is use the lasso tool with a feather of 15 pixels on the low frequency. You select areas that you want smoothed out so that the texture is all within the same. You Gaussian blur it and you blur it to your liking. You don't want to over blur it because the skin will start looking like plastic, and people are not plastic. People are not plastic.
Somebody asked, Ferry asked, what is the difference between retouching and editing?
Editing, and I'm giving you my definition, so take this for like a grain of salt. Editing to me is really just like grading, like the colors and stuff, the cropping, the highlights, the shadows, those different things. Retouching is really going in and like making sure that the skin is clean or the subject or whatever you're shooting, because even with product photography, I'll go in and clean up packaging, making sure that whatever blemishes are in the photo, not just skin, but like if it's somebody walking in the side, or like what y'all saw me do earlier with the background and stuff, like that all is a part of the retouch process.
Yeah.
But editing is just like, to me, it's like the basics.
Yeah.
So we are almost donezo.
Come on.
Almost done. That feather is actually a little too high. It needs to be on like a 10. What is it? That's a 10.5. Okay, cool. Cool. Crazy enough, we're gonna finish like right on time.
That's a beautiful thing.
Right. Very much aligned.
Go ahead and see that whole process from start to finish.
Oh, wait, where we at? Get down to the legs. We got a couple spots here.
Get them smooth.
There we go.
Jasmine said massages after a shoot definitely sounds like a mood. Yes, let me
You
tell
know,
you.
honestly, you saying that, I've never done it. I'm probably gonna do it. I'm gonna like book a shoot just to go get a massage one of these days. Like, you know what?
Yeah,
That's what
because
I'm using it
sometimes,
for.
you know, I very rarely will dabble into wedding photography, but when you're on your feet for 6, 8, 10 hours a day, or for that, you know, that event, which is why I very rarely and probably will never going into next year do anymore.
Bruh.
It's a lot of physical labor for you to do your job. So if I do a wedding, the next day, I can't even physically move. And so I no, that's the day I'm taking my butt to wherever I gotta go. I get my little massage, make sure I feel good, free, I don't feel tight. And then I'll go ahead and edit your session. So
Right. Nope, I can't do weddings. Shout out to everybody that do wedding photography, because I did one and my toes was crunched. I'm good. I learned my lesson. So yeah, this is what this composite is gonna look like. My last couple things that I want to check out. So in the beginning of me doing this, you remember I had blended in the outlines.
Yes.
Well, not the outlines, but her being cut out of the actual background. Mm-hmm. There's certain spots in here that I just get real like technical about, just making sure it's all the way gone. Mm-hmm. Like that outline within itself does not need to be showing up, like even in the faintest of ways. Because if I put this, let's just say I put this on the internet, Twitter, Instagram. It's also another platform that I use called Glass that I advise photographers to check out. Also a really great platform. But if I post this anywhere and I see like, slight little line, like, it's gonna bother me. But nobody's ever gonna notice it. It's just like,
it's only you that don't notice, but still.
It's there. And it's again, it's not looking to be perfect, but you just know, like, all right, pay attention to that next time.
Yep.
That's all. So that is exactly what I'm doing, because guess what? I posted something about a week ago and I saw an outline.
No. Did you leave it or did you go back? Did you?
I left it on there. Okay. I mean, I'm not about to be like, oh my God, guys, look at the line. Look at the line. Nah, we're good. Clean those little spots up and wait a minute. Boom. All right, cool. Yeah, we're good to go, I think. Let me invert it just to make sure. Cool. So what I do with this too is like inverting it, you can kind of see a little bit better. Because you've been looking at the same colors all the time. I don't know why your eyes do that. Don't know what the science is behind it.
Yeah.
But it helps. So I don't see anything under here other than the shadows that's there that's just supposed to be there. So I'm satisfied. We're at 212. Awesome. Flatten this out. Discard all my hidden layers that were duplicates and save it. So it'll save a copy directly to Lightroom.
Yeah, now, that's one thing I love about the two applications. Just bam, like I go back and forth between the two, like in and out, like and smooth with it too, like.
Right. So now what we're gonna do, let's see, we're gonna go back into Lightroom. So just to show y'all, this is what we started with. And this is where we're at.
Oh, wow.
See, like that cool little, dang, you went from that, dang. Like,
it just hit, like, especially when all that space comes in and just takes over.
It's so like a breath of fresh air, man. Oh my
gosh.
But yeah, that's where we're at. But we're not done. I also, for like photographers and stuff, when people want to figure out what it is, like that's their style, a lot of that comes from the angles that you shoot, things that you shoot, but a good amount of it is within the way that you edit your photos. For me, it took me a minute. I was on tour with a comedy group of 85 South Show in 2019. And we were touring in California, and I kind of was in charge of like how I edit the photos for the show and stuff. So I was like, well, let me try something that just feels a little bit more cinematic.
Mm-hmm.
And I pulled some shadows in a certain direction. Was like, oh, like, you might have just unlocked something else, my boy. Like, so I ran with it, and then I started thinking like, all right, this looks cool on like the live show, live performance, like concert type of vibe. What does this look like in studio? So I made a preset. It's two different ones. One of them I call Sentimental, which is like cinema, whatever. And one that I use on like brown skin and stuff. Then I go back and tweak it a little bit because it is kind of blown out. I think I want to use this one today, but then I'm gonna take the exposure down and bring it back to light. So it feels like even when you zoom in, she's still crisp. Yeah. Like, but it's far away. Like it honestly should not. It is a crime to still have this photo still that crisp. I'm
telling you, like, I'm not gonna lie.
And then you just go in and play with your colors, the contrast, the shadows, and everything. What do I want to change? I kind of want to change. What does the green look like? The green is a little bit too amped, so I'm gonna bring it down some. No, I may not. I forgot that is green too.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Let's see. There's a way I could work around that. I'm gonna leave that as it is. What if I change the green to blue? No, because that's gonna change the whole plant. What if I go into the mid-tones, start tweaking that a little bit? That made it too dreary. That, ooh.
That hit.
That's so dreamy. What is going on? But see, this is the part where it's just like, bro, just have fun.
Just have fun with it.
All right, so it's a little too. So I think to combat how much that is, we're going to take the exposure down a little bit.
And I see another question.
What's the question?
Speaking of skin tone, how difficult do you find it to adjust to shooting various shades, especially when it comes to shooting an interracial couple together?
Ooh, I never had that challenge. It's not hard. It's weird. It's weird that you even like would have to think about it in different ways. Yeah. The history behind photography was like, photography was never really meant for brown skin. Like, let's just honestly just be honest. Like the beginning of time type of thing. So cameras had to eventually adjust as far as like color censoring and stuff is concerned. To understand how to edit for that, I think, and this is just me, solely me. If I understand the lighting that the person needs, then that's about as I like maybe half of the job within itself. You don't want to blow somebody's skin out to where it's just like, all right, I can't do anything with this, but then you don't want to underexpose them to where it's just like, yep, still can't do nothing with this, and it might not look right if I go and edit it. As far as interracial couples, you just got to find that balance. Like what type of lighting, what type of modifiers are you using? If you're shooting it in natural light, then, you know, let the sun be your guide, to be honest with you.
That's it.
But yeah, you just figure out what feels best for that situation as far as like the lighting is concerned.
Yeah, I would agree. And Spencer says it because he said, I asked because my wife and I have a hard time finding a photographer getting it right. And I think a lot of it, for one, is how you light the photo. So again, I do a lot of natural light. Everything I do is almost natural light. So it's just kind of playing around the sun and making sure that both of your subjects are properly lit. And then when you get into editing, I think the kind of downfall that a lot of photographers have is that they are so focused on whatever, especially depending on the type of photographer, especially when it comes to couples and stuff like that, they tend to use a similar preset package that they might use on every other client that they have. So when you start throwing on a preset package that was maybe more so beneficial for someone of a lighter skin tone, lighter skin complexion, and you don't make the necessary adjustments to kind of make everything balanced. I think that's where sometimes people, and you also have to understand, I think, this is my favorite part to talk about when it comes to skin tones. Understanding undertones of your subjects is a huge thing, right? Like understanding like what is your subject's undertones, keeping that in mind when you are editing. You don't want to make someone look too orange, too green, like you just want to be mindful of that while you're editing. So I think to me, it shouldn't be difficult. But I think sometimes when people get caught up in shooting only a certain one skin tone and don't have that experience, sometimes they kind of think that it's a one size fits all when it's not. You just gotta make sure you're adjusting as you go. So it can be hard to find somebody that can, especially when you're shooting the two together. Yeah,
that is true.
The tints are huge. Like Spencer said, you hit the nail on the head, because we've seen photos where either she comes out yellow tint that doesn't belong, or I come up very overexposed. Yeah, it's usually people can't find that balance.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep.
It's really just finding that balance. Let's bring this down a little.
That was a great question, Spencer. Thank you.
That was a beautiful question.
Spencer was been throwing the gems like pew pew pew. Like...
Wait, is that my buddy Spencer Griffin?
Yes,
Spencer Griffin. I like Spencer.
Come on. This whole chat has been going great, y'all. We are about 5 minutes from completing. And so I just want to make sure y'all know that if you want to go back and rewatch this live stream, you can do so. It will be here for you to do so. If you have any last minute questions that you want me to ask Roy in the next 5 minutes, drop them in the chat. If not, we can drop his Instagram, his website, all the different ways that you can get in contact with him to ask those questions directly if you want to do so after this live.
Okay. Did I do this right?
So we cropping now?
Yeah, we're like done, to be honest with you.
Bingo.
I'm making my last minute adjustments. I'm making my, what's it called? Come back. There we go. Making my zoomed in virtual copy. Wait a minute. Why am I doing this? Hold on. Don't take the hard route out, my friend. It's that one. And then do it again from the actual copy, because I just did something different. Cool. All right. So the virtual copy, like I said earlier, is going to be a zoomed in version of this, which is just that. Which that needs to come. I need to come down a little bit, right there, and come over slightly, and right there. Cool. All right, quick side by side.
Yeah, definitely. Someone said, Bliss said, this has a vintage type of feel to it. Definitely.
See, that's like.
Yeah,
that wasn't even the plan, but you see the feelings.
You see the feelings.
That's it. I might zoom into this one a little bit more. No, come back. There we go. Come up. There we are. There we go.
There we go.
And then bring this down. Boom.
Bam.
That's it. That's
as
it. Easy as I can make it for you.
Oh, let's do that before again. That before and after.
Let's do the side by side.
That's side by side.
1 second.
Yep. Bam. That's just like incredible. Absolutely
That's
incredible.
It, man. That was fun.
Oh, I loved it. Awesome. So now that we are getting ready to wrap up, Roy, thank you so much for walking through all of that. That was incredible. That was so dope to see. Especially, I just love to see how you can have something in camera and just bring it into a whole different world. Like, it's just crazy. What do you think we'll be doing tomorrow? Do you want to share a little bit of that before we start to wrap up? What are we talking about tomorrow?
All right, so this is what we're doing tomorrow, because I can't hold cold water at all, and the secret is out of the bag. So we're working between one of these two photos. Again, I'm indecisive, kind of, sort of. I don't know which one to pick. I like the blue photo, but I also like this photo.
All right.
The reason I like this photo, the blue
Mm-hmm.
photo, is because I know like her arms are more exposed to where I could chop pieces and like chop this part of her neck and lift stuff and make it like really abstract. I like this photo because it's showing enough of her eye to where I could do like my signature, put the butterfly in your eye type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like,
That's dope.
what do I want to do? So I
I
don't know.
guess we'll see. We'll see. But y'all, if you are here today, we'll be back again tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Pacific for part 2 at Roy. Make sure you stick around for the Illustrator Daily Challenge with Andrew Hochradel. Immediately following this specifics, or actually followed by the editorial design with Studio Savannah. So make sure y'all stick around. We will see you tomorrow. And we're going to have to create more magic because...
Hey, man. That's exactly what we're going to do.
We're creating magic and we're dropping gems and we're healing and we're just giving
all
grace.
Of the vibes.
All of it. All of it. Absolutely incredible. Awesome.